Hello, welcome to John Miller Car Machinery. My name's Rob. So, today we're going to look at some more Stihl kit, and in specifically, the KMA 200R. So you might be asking, what is the KMA 200R? Well, it's Stihl's Battery Kombi unit. It's their newest one out that has the same equivalent, apparently, as a 131, I think. Might be more than that, but we'll go 131 to keep on the safe side. So, and the nice thing is about these is all the attachments from your petrol kit will fit on the end. They've kept the same fitting, okay? I don't know if you guys know about Kombi, but what Kombi is, if you haven't seen it before, is you buy a motor, petrol engine or battery like this one, and then you'll buy different attachments. So effectively, you're just going to buy one power unit and have multiple tools. Good for fitting in smaller vans, or if you've got a car, and even storage wise, and even maintenance. Because instead of having individual engine units, you have just one engine unit or motor unit to look after. I suppose the downside to that is you're putting all your work through one machine. But hey, some people like it, some people don't. I love it. I've got all the petrol engine versions. But yeah, it's good stuff. I really like it. So we're going to try a few of the attachments out today. The thing to mention with this KMA 120R is you're going to have to use the AP, I'll bring it in, 500S. I don't think it'll work on anything else, all right? So cost-wise, you'll have to weigh that up when you look at buying them, because they're not cheap anymore, and they make it heavy. So fits in like any other battery into the top. So we're going to try the Strimmer first. So another caveat quickly. So this is your standard Strimmer attachment in the Kombi range, but is it? No, it's not. So normally you'd have the FS KM or the MB KM for you people that like numbers. This is the FS KM. It's got a heavier duty gearbox. Because of the power this thing puts out, Stihl have made a dedicated Strimmer attachment for this. I do know people that run the other units on it. I just don't know what the longevity will be on those units. So you unscrew the Tommy screw, put them in like so, and always make sure you go down to the arrows and the red lines. Otherwise you end up ripping the end of your shaft out on the attachment. Tighten them back up, nice and tight. So now we have a Strimmer. You can get a harness strap to go on. I don't use them. I don't like them for the loop handles. I find they get in the way. So that's quite a heavy unit, guys, right? That is as heavy or heavier than some of the petrol machines. So a bit like on the other machines, you've got different power variations, small, medium and big, depending on what you're going round. So we're going to just, where are you? We're just going to go over there and tackle some of that grass over there and work our way along and see what happens. Right then, we haven't got loads to test, but it's to give you an idea of what it does. That is super powerful. That is really powerful, guys, all right? So, I mean, some of that grass was like 8 inches tall, you know. If you were doing a regular mowing round or something, you would have bags of power, but I think having that, using it in heavy duty stuff, I think you'd be fine. This is running 2.4 mil on. With that head, you can squeeze 2.7 in there, and this has got plenty of power to push it. All right, so a brief introduction to the Strimmer attachment on the 200R. You'll have to get over the weight side of it. It is heavy, all right. But yeah, first impressions. I think with the bigger the slightly bigger gearbox is taking the power nicely. So we're going to try some other bits, and we're going to go for long reach hedge cutter. Make sure it goes down to the red line, or the arrows touch. This is the same hedge cutter to what you get on the petrol machine. So normally when I hedge cut, I don't have this on. This D-handle just gets in the way. But if you're swapping between lots of different attachments, then you might need this. So for this video, we're going to leave it on. Got to make sure you turn it on, pick your power level. A brief look at hedge cutters on Kombi. You see it's gone for it nice and easy. I think I mentioned it in one of the other videos. Don't get put off by the lack of noise that comes out of the machine. It sounds like it's not got enough power to do it, but it went through that stuff easily. There's some thick stuff down the bottom there, probably the size of my finger. Yes, it takes a few bites at it, but the petrol engine would take a few bites at it as well. So yeah, it's a very small snapshot. But yeah, overall performs really well. And again, hedge cutter run time is really good on batteries. Yes, you'll lose a bit because you've got a solid drive shaft rather than just a wire, but you'll be in for a fair few hours of hedge cutting. So we'll get rid of that one. We'll look at the pole saw next. So again, fits in the same way. This becomes about 2.1 metre. You can get a metre extension bar, which is about 3.1. And again, you can use this or that, it's up to you. Same principle, put it in, you've got your power settings. Nice and simple. Go a bit higher. So we won't film loads, otherwise I'm going to have to prune the old damn tree, and that'll take a few hours. I would say biggest bit we went through was probably, I don't know, inch, maybe, 25 mil. It was going through really easily. It literally, quick touch done. This motor really spins whatever attachment has got it at a high rate, you know. So again, don't be put off by the fact it's not petrol. I know there's a lot of petrol guys out there. And yes, there is flaws to battery technology. I'm not going to say there isn't, but that's not for me to decide whether you want battery or petrol. That's for us just to show you the products and give you the info and see how you feel about it. Like I said, I am still a petrol person, but some of the battery kit that's out there now is very impressive, so you can't just ignore it, put it that way. Again, I would say weight-wise, that's quite a lot of weight there, okay? So, but in performance-wise, as you see, it just goes for it nice and easily. Nice, nothing to struggle against at all. Again, run time, it's all down to what you're going through. If you're going through lots of like inch bits of timber, you've gone for hours and hours and hours. If you decide to take something like you're properly taking a limb off a tree and you're having to go through 8-9 inch timber, you're going to eat the battery a lot quicker. So run times are a very odd thing to try and gauge and sort of say. So that's the pole pruner, the HTKM, if you need to know the number for it. And I think we've got one more bit, which is the RGKM, which is a cross between a Strimmer and a hedge cutter. If I take the safety guard off, he says. Oh yeah, right. Stupid safety guards. I know legally we should have them, but that's what I think of that. Yes, cross between like a Strimmer and hedge cutter. So you've got hedge cutter blades, but someone's put them in a circle. And this is designed for doing low level stuff. You're not going to go and, well, I suppose you could. You're not going to go and get a hedge with this. You're going to be on the floor. And the idea is it won't spit stuff everywhere. So if you took a Strimmer into a pot of gravel, I'd probably kill half the people on the road driving by. If I put this into a pot, in like a bucket of gravel, it just keeps munching it, leaves it in there. So useful for car parks, if you've got to trim around cars or close to windows, greenhouses. Right then, so again, feed it power levels and stuff like that. What I can't decide is whether it spins round or it just oscillates side to side. I think the bottom one spins. Oh no, they oscillate. I don't know. Either way, it does the job. I think it's just like oscillating side to side, like hedge cutter would. So, I have used one of these before. They're really weird to use, but they do the job. Super quiet. Again, don't be put off by lack of noise. Again, with small areas, but to give you an idea of what it does. As you can see, it didn't flick the stuff anywhere. So if you started the video with a Strimmer going, and it pushes it all to the left or the right, wherever you're going, it just chucks it everywhere. You get covered in Strimmer clippings. This hasn't moved much more than the diameter of what that head is, because it's not chucking it out. It's just like cutting. So it means you can tackle grass. There was like brambly stuff there, there was bits of hedge. You can move it around, you can cover all that on the same blade. It will do, I don't know if we can show it, like if you're shimming round things, it'll do against like a concrete edge. What you do have to be careful of, obviously being a blade, you'll blunt it quicker, but I've cut along the edge of the front here, along the top of the concrete. And also, I don't know if we can head up to a lamppost in a second, if that can do like a mobile kind of walk, and see if we can just miss out on the traffic. So, you'd think it would bounce off the metal, so So we're working right next to the road. If I was using a Strimmer there, it'd be flying out to the road, and I don't know, if there's a stone in the ground and someone's driving by, they could be eating a stone for breakfast or for lunch or whatever. So along these awkward areas, it's really safe. And like I say, it just keeps it all neat. Yeah, so that's basically what the RGKM does, okay? So that's it really. There's other attachments available. they're kind of self-explanatory. A brush does brushing, a tiller does tilling, a blower does blowing. Simple as that. So, without further ado, the KM 200R, massively powerful, if you like battery. Simple as that, really. See you on the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Bye.